Have you ever wondered how habits shape your life? They're like the invisible architects of our daily lives, constructing the framework of our routines, actions, and ultimately, our outcomes. It's the little things, the small, seemingly insignificant decisions and actions that we repeat day after day that compound over time to create massive changes. This is the concept of atomic habits. Now you might be wondering, what are atomic habits? Well, they're small habits that make a big difference. Think of them like atoms, tiny but powerful. This theory was popularized by James Clear, who developed a program called Atomic Habits, an easy and proven way to build good habits and break bad ones. It's all about leveraging the power of habits to your advantage, to build a life you're proud of. Today, we dive into the depths of the Atomic Habits program to help you understand how to build good habits and break bad ones. Atomic Habits begins with the 1% rule. This powerful principle is all about making small, incremental changes that, over time, create a massive impact. It's like a snowball effect. The initial changes might seem insignificant, but with persistence and time, they build up, creating a momentum that's hard to stop. Consider this. If you improve by just 1% every day, you'll end up 37 times better by the end of the year. That's the power of the 1% rule. It's not about overnight success or quick fixes. It's about steady, consistent growth. Every decision, every action, no matter how small, is like a step on the journey to your goals. Each 1% improvement is a step forward, and over time, these steps add up to significant progress. So don't underestimate the power of small changes and consistency. Remember, it's not about making a big change, but about making consistent small changes. Next up in the program is habit stacking. Imagine a pile of blocks, each one representing a different habit. Now, think of the process of stacking these blocks, one on top of the other. This is essentially what habit stacking is. It's a method in which you take a habit you already do consistently and attach a new habit to it. For instance, if you already have a habit of drinking coffee first thing in the morning, you could stack a new habit onto it, like meditating for 5 minutes while your coffee brews. The existing habit serves as a trigger for the new one, which makes it easier to remember and more likely to be done. This method, originally coined by productivity expert James Clear, helps you efficiently incorporate new habits into your daily routine. It's like creating a domino effect of productivity, where one action naturally leads to the next. With habit stacking, you can build a series of habits that lead you to your goal. Your environment plays a significant role in your habits. This is a fundamental tenet of the Atomic Habits philosophy. Our surroundings can either foster positive habits or feed into negative ones. So how does one design an environment that supports good habits? Think of it this way. When you want a plant to thrive, you don't just water it. You make sure it's in the right soil, getting the right amount of sunlight and protected from harsh weather. Similarly, creating an environment for our habits involves more than just willpower. It's about setting up physical and social spaces that encourage the behavior we seek. For instance, if you're aiming to read more, keep a book on your nightstand where you can see it before bedtime. If you're trying to eat healthier, fill your fridge with fresh fruits and vegetables. It's about making the right choice the easy choice. A well-designed environment can make habit formation easier and more effective. Making your habits obvious is a key strategy in the Atomic Habits program. When we talk about making habits obvious, we are referring to the process of making the cues that trigger our habits more visible and prominent. This is important because our behaviors are often triggered by the environment around us. If we can make the cues that trigger our good habits more obvious, then we can more easily trigger those behaviors. So, how do we make habits obvious? Let's say you want to read more. You could leave a book on your bedside table or in your bag so you see it and remember to read it. Or if you want to eat healthier, you could place fruits and vegetables in a visible spot in your fridge. The goal here is to make the good habit the path of least resistance. When you make your good habits obvious, they become the easiest and most convenient choice. When your habits are obvious, you're more likely to stick to them. Making your habits attractive can help you stick to them. Now let's dive into how this can be done. The key to making a habit attractive is to associate it with positive feelings. Think of it as adding a dollop of your favorite jam to a slice of whole grain bread. The bread, although nutritious, may not be exciting on its own, but with the addition of that sweet layer, it becomes something you look forward to. Consider a habit you're trying to establish, like going for a morning run. If you're not a morning person, this might feel like a chore. But what if you pair it with listening to your favorite podcast or audiobook? Suddenly, that morning run becomes a time you get to spend with your favorite storyteller. This is the power of making habits attractive. You're not just running, you're stepping into an adventure. You're not just eating healthy, you're indulging in your favorite flavors. An attractive habit is a habit that sticks. The easier a habit is, the more likely you are to stick to it. That's the cornerstone of this concept. It's not about working harder, but about working smarter. When a new habit is simple and straightforward, it's less of a chore and more of a natural part of your routine. So, how do you make a habit easy? Start by breaking it down into manageable steps. For instance, if you want to start exercising daily, don't aim for an hour-long intense workout session from day one. Begin with just 10 minutes of light exercise. Gradually increase the duration and intensity as you get comfortable. Another strategy is to prepare in advance. If your aim is to eat healthier, prep your meals ahead of time. This way, when it's time to eat, you're not scrambling to put something together, and you're less likely to opt for unhealthy choices. Automation is another key. Use technology to your advantage. Set reminders, use habit tracking apps, or automate your environment to make the habit as effortless as possible. Remember, the easier the habit, the more likely you are to stick to it. Last but not least, make your habit satisfying. Satisfaction, the feeling of fulfillment that comes from achieving a goal, plays a crucial role in habit formation. It's the cherry on top of the cake, the reward at the end of the journey. And it's this reward that motivates us to repeat a behavior to make it a habit. Consider this. If you're aiming to build a reading habit, the satisfaction you derive could be the knowledge gained or the escape into different worlds. Or if you're trying to get fit, the satisfaction might come from seeing your body change, feeling stronger, healthier. To make a habit satisfying, focus on the intrinsic rewards. The joy of doing the activity itself rather than any external validation. And remember, the satisfaction doesn't have to be grand. It can be as simple as ticking off a task from your to-do list. So, find what satisfies you. If a habit is satisfying, you're more likely to repeat it. Let's recap what we've learned about the Atomic Habits program. We started with understanding the power of habits. These are not just simple routines, but the very architecture of our lives. They shape our health, productivity, and happiness. By harnessing this power, we can transform our existence. Next, we delved into the 1% rule. It's about making small, incremental improvements consistently. Remember, success is a product of daily habits, not once-in-a-lifetime transformations. It's the small changes that compound over time and lead to remarkable results. Habit stacking was our third stop. This is the art of pairing a new habit with an existing one. By linking habits together, we create a domino effect, making it easier to maintain momentum and facilitate change. We then explored the concept of environment design. Our surroundings play a crucial role in determining our behaviors. By designing an environment conducive to our desired habits, we can make it easier to stick to them. The fifth trick was to make it obvious. The more visible a habit is, the more likely we are to act on it. By using cues in our environment, we can trigger the behaviors we want to cultivate. The sixth trick was to make it attractive. When a habit is appealing, it pulls us towards doing it. By making our habits attractive, we can tap into the motivational force of wanting. Next, we learned about making it easy. The simpler a habit is, the less effort it requires and the more likely we are to do it. By reducing friction, we can make it easier to stick to our habits. Finally, we discovered the importance of making it satisfying. Immediate rewards make a habit more enjoyable and reinforce it. By making our habits satisfying, we can ensure they stick. Now that we've unlocked these 9 tricks, it's time to put them into practice. Start small, stay consistent, and watch your life transform. Remember, the power to change your habits is in your hands. You have the tools, now it's time to use them. Don't forget to subscribe to Mind Hacks 369 for more life-changing content.